Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Striketh, and today we're delving into HearthStone for the first time. Or, well, I am at least. I've been watching people play this game for a long time, but I myself never jumped into it until now. Why is that? Well, my experiences with trading card games haven't been the greatest in the past. I'm showing my age here, but about 20 years ago when I last played Magic the Gathering, I recall getting stomped by the older kids at the playground I went to during the summer. I was just a kid, granted, but I wasn't very good at it, and it left a sour taste in regards to TCGs. Fast forward 20 years, and I played a bit of Infinity Wars, which is a TCG currently in early access. Infinity Wars does some interesting things where it has the board split into attack and defense, and player moves are executed simultaneously instead of one at a time. Which means you need to try and predict what the other player is going to do before they do it. It's an interesting concept. I did a video on the game if you're interested in checking it out, which I'll link here in the video and in the description below. The major problem I had with Infinity Wars was that it had a steep learning curve and it just didn't hold my interest. It was at that point that I thought I was pretty much done with TCGs for good. Enter HearthStone. I installed HearthStone on my PC last night, went through the training games, and then built a couple of decks with the Paladin and Druid. There were quite a few losses at first, especially as I tried to do a couple of arena runs early on. But then I tweaked my decks a bit, and the wins started to come in. From that point, I was hooked. I played a couple more hours, and then I went and installed it on my laptop, which runs Linux, or Ubuntu specifically for those familiar with the distro. Surprisingly, HearthStone runs near perfectly in Wine, and I ended up laying in bed while playing some more games on my laptop. Next thing I knew, it was 6:30 in the morning and I was still awake. Yeah, it's that addicting. If someone asked me why I liked HearthStone where other TCGs had failed to hold my attention, I say that it's due to the ease of entry. Upon getting into the game, it's really hard to build a absolutely terrible deck. And even then, bad decks can still sometimes win games if the RNG gods are on your side. The fact that within a couple of hours of starting the game, I was able to consistently win games on both my Paladin and my Druid was awesome. It's really thrilling when you have a combination of cards in your hand and you're waiting, and waiting, and waiting, and then BAM! The other player falls right into your trap and you just unleash hell on them and make a massive comeback. In addition to this, the games on HearthStone are relatively fast. It generally takes me maybe 10 to 15 minutes tops to play a game, and so it's not a huge time sink. Some other TCGs can have you playing for upwards of 30 to 60 minutes or more just for one game, and while those can be intense in their own ways, I just don't have the patience to sit there playing one game that long, especially if I'm losing for most of it, or at the end they pull out some crazy shit that was hiding at the bottom of their deck for the last hour. I've been mostly playing casual since my first attempts at Arena. Obviously, rank is more difficult. Right now, I'm just focusing on leveling up the heroes and getting all their basic cards unlocked. I'll probably be making a mage deck next here before I move on to the others, as I certainly like what they can do. Once I get past that, I'll start playing some ranked games and see how I do there. A lot of people say that the bread and butter of HearthStone is Arena, and I definitely agree with that. Once I get better and have some more gold, I'll be playing some Arena, but for now, it would be a waste of my time since I don't know the characters that well. Of course, ranked with pre-made decks can be a huge pain in the ass as well. I ran into a Warlock with a Murloc deck, and seriously, fuck Murlocs. I was dead by turn 5. And a bunch of Murlocs on the board, all buffed up, and I had nothing in my hand to deal with them. And that brings me into the next topic, RNG. The most frustrating thing for me with any TCG is when I know that I have cards in my deck that will perfectly deal with a situation, and yet, turn after turn, I just keep drawing useless crap that would be amazing if I had creatures on the board or if I had certain spells, but I just never get what I need. And this is the major frustration that I always run into. On my Twitch channel, I have a banner that says, "Warning, may yell at video games." And this has definitely happened a couple of times when I was playing HearthStone and got completely boned by the RNG gods. The strength and weakness of any deck can be due to relying on certain combinations of cards. If you have one of the cards you need in your hand, but the other one that will make that card effective still lies hidden somewhere within your deck, then that could completely screw over your strategy. Likewise, when RNG is in your favor, and you get that exact combo in your hand right when you need it, then it can be a game changer. For example, I have been absolutely loving the combination of Voodoo Doctor and Light Warden. Voodoo Doctor is a 1-cost card that heals for 2, and the Light Warden is a 1-cost card that gains +2 attack every time a heal is used. I put those in my Paladin deck, and let me tell ya, getting 2 Light Wardens and a Voodoo Doctor in your hand when the first 3 turns is pretty amazing. It may not be the best combo ever, but I love it because I found it on my own without any guides or help from external sources. The way it works is simple. You drop the Light Warden or Light Wardens if you're lucky enough to have 2 of them in your hand, then drop the Voodoo Doctor and heal up any damage you might have taken before that turn. I usually try to wait until I've taken at least 1 or 2 damage before I drop them, as otherwise you just waste the heal. Being able to have up to 3 minions on the board on turn 3 with 2 of them at 3-2 and 1 of them at 2-1, plus being able to heal yourself on top of that is immensely strong in my opinion. What I've seen so far is that this combo either forces your opponent to blow one of their really strong removal cards early on, usually an AoE removal card, or they take up to 8 damage if they don't have an answer for it. Being able to get 8 damage out of 3 1-cost minions by turn 4 and healing yourself on top of that is just super strong. Now, there's likely pro players and just more experienced players in general that know better combinations here, but like I said, being that I'm new to the game, I just love the fact that I figured this out without anybody's help. If you guys know of any better combos than that though, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. I'd love to hear what other people are doing with the Paladin and what sort of interesting combos you've come up with. In closing, I've had a fantastic time with HearthStone so far. It's one of those games I can definitely see myself playing more of, and right now, I'm kicking myself for waiting so long to get into it. I could have been playing this last year, but I let my past experiences with TCGs cloud my judgment in that regard. We'll be making some more videos on HearthStone in the near future, and I'll try to do some interesting highlight videos whenever enough awesome things happen to me during my play session. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. This is Strikeout, checking out.